it's funny on its surface because I'm kind of like the person you would want to ask last how to make a smooth IPO. But, you know, seriously, it's actually a valuable process. So, you know, having gone through what I think most people would characterize as an extremely turbulent first year as a public company, I can tell you, I actually don't think it's that bad. You know, I was really heartened by the fact that, and I was really worried that, you know, people would leave the company and people would get really demoralized when the stock price was down, but people are really focused on the mission and really believe in the products that they're working on, and we haven't seen a lot of that. I actually think that it's made our company a lot stronger. Because the process of leading up to going public, you have to know everything about your company and kind of inside out have everything instrumented. And I always thought we were a very data-driven company, but I mean the work that Ebersman and crew did to get us ready to be public really took this to the next level. And we run our company a lot better now. So I mean, in retrospect, I think I was too afraid of going public, and I think you know, I've been very outspoken about staying private for as long as possible. I don't think it's that necessary to do that. And you know, you just got to stay focused on doing the right stuff. And you know, sometimes it might take the market a little while to catch up and see the results of what you're doing. I mean, I remember last year when we were here, I was kind of laying out what we were planning on doing on mobile, and everyone thought that mobile was this disastrous thing for Facebook. I mean, last year, second quarter, we had basically no money no revenue on mobile, and now, I mean, it's in our last quarter, a year later, I think more than 40% of our revenue is mobile. And you know, when people think that, you know, there's more competition on mobile, there's more great apps, you know, people spend on desktop 1 in 7 minutes with Facebook of kind of all their time on the web, and on mobile it's more. It's 1 in 5. You know, according to ComScore, it's around 20%, and the next biggest app is Instagram. So you know, we've focused on kind of doing what we think are the right things, and we're growing, we're connecting more folks, people are engaging more, sharing more content, you know, all the stuff that we just come in and get excited about every day. So I think, you know, as long as Twitter, and I mean this goes for all of these private companies that are thinking about when they want to go private, as long as they kind of focus on what they're doing, then I think it's wonderful. It's great.
We know what Facebook has done over the last several months to try to help increase transparency. We've seen the lawsuit. We've seen those efforts. And I don't need you to repeat them, although I'm happy to talk about that if you want. What I want to know is what Mark Zuckerberg thinks about these issues and our right to privacy versus the government.
Yeah, so I mean, we take our role really seriously. I think it's my job and our job to protect everyone who uses Facebook and all the information that they share with us. It's our government's job to protect all of us and also to protect our freedoms and protect the economy, right, and companies. And I think that they did a bad job of balancing those things here, right? You know, so frankly, I think that the government blew it, right? I think that they blew it on communicating what they were, basically the balance of what they were going for here with this. So, you know, the morning after this started breaking, there were like a bunch of people asked them what they thought, and the government's comment was, "Oh, don't worry. Basically, we're not spying on any Americans." Right, and it's like, oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's like that's really helpful to companies who are trying to serve people around the world, and they're really going to inspire confidence in American internet companies. It's like, thanks for going out there and being really clear about what you're doing. So I think that was really bad, right? And we've been pushing just to get more transparency on this, and I actually think we've made a big difference, right? I mean, we haven't. The big question that you'd get from all the coverage is, you know, so what's the volume of the total number of requests that are going on? Is it closer to 1,000 requests that the government is making of us, or is it closer to 100 million, right? And I mean, from the coverage and from what the government has said, you would not know the difference, right? But we worked really hard with the government behind the scenes to get it to the point where we could release the aggregate number of requests. And it was around 9,000 in the last half a year. And does that number tell us everything that we want? No. And that's why when the conversations kind of got to the point where we weren't going to make further progress, we decided to sue them so we could reveal, is it 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 or 8,000 of the 9,000 requests. But the reality is, because of the transparency that we pushed for, now people can know, and I think they deserve to know, that the number of requests that the government is making is closer to 1,000, right? It's 9,000 or less in the last 6 months, and definitely not 10 million or 100 million.